Alex Ringler, and with me as always is my panelists. Let's go around and see who's here. Tell me where you're calling in from, who you are, and what you had for breakfast this morning. Russ, let's go.
Hi, I'm Russ White. I am the co-founder, co-producer of Q Life Media, and also now today the founder of the Federated Gamers League. We're calling in live from Las Vegas, the Rio Hotel, where we're producing the first esports tournament for the largest annual LGBT sporting event in the world.
Come on, gay sports! Woohoo.
And I had breakfast tacos.
Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds better than my breakfast. I had oatmeal. Anyway, Christopher, hello.
Hi, my name is Christopher Henry, and I'm calling in from Plymouth, Massachusetts. I'm an actor, singer, and comic, and I'm a gay man and an actor, so I don't eat breakfast.
Well done. Just coffee, please.
Just coffee and shame.
Next, the dreaded and feared.
Greetings, everyone. It's the dreaded and feared Walter Kurtz coming to you live from Donkey Mere Home of the Chandelier in New York City, and with my special guest, Fanny. There she is. And for breakfast, Fanny had nothing because she's being weird about eating at the moment. I'm puppy sitting. And I had oatmeal and toast.
Yummy. Morning carbs. Michael, hey.
Hi, I'm Michael Barbieri, dining and entertainment writer, and calling in from New York City. And I had 2 hard-boiled eggs for breakfast.
Yum. I'm boiling some eggs right now. It smells fantastic in here because of that. And our resident queen and fashion expert, Aaliyah.
Well, hello. My name is Aaliyah Sky. I'm a drag queen and fashion designer, and I am calling in from Los Angeles, California. And I have not had breakfast because I get up at the butt crack of dawn to do this.
To look that beautiful for us. We love you for it.
Yes, girl. We had air and sunshine for breakfast this morning. It was great.
That's my breakfast.
I had a pair of huevos last night.
Oh Lord. What was his name?
Intelligence huevos.
I don't know his name.
So he was Latino?
I don't do names. But anyway, so getting right into this episode, this kind of epic episode of All Stars 4 this week, we kind of predicted that maybe these girls were going to choose this queen to eliminate, should they have eliminated anybody, which they didn't. Both girls had Valentina in their titty, and she doesn't understand why. Is it getting a little tiresome to hear how much Valentina thinks of herself when she even says outright, I don't go by the critiques, I go by the way I feel and my fantasy. I'm like, oh, if I hear about this girl's fantasy one more time. Walter, what do you think of that? What do you think of Miss Valentina?
I'm over the attitude, the self-actualization, and she's beautiful. I guess she's talented from what we've seen, but just enough already. You're just showing your age.
Well, it's one thing to self-actualize and to have self-confidence. It's another thing to not listen to critiques from those older and more experienced than you, or who have been in this business a little longer than you, because then you're just up your own ass about yourself. And then if you already think you're the best, you have no room for improvement. And then where do you expect to go? Chris, what do you think of that?
So after last night, I'm even more convinced that the immature Valentina that we're seeing is something that's being played up for reality television. Because I saw 2 different people last night and through the course of this competition. I see the person who says things to Pheromone like, yeah, I would have sent you home, or to Trinity, I'm sending your ass home, or to Manila saying, hey, listen, I'm not going to give you immunity just because you keep me on. I see this incredibly real person, and then I see that person who lives in their fantasy. And they're both very conflicting, and I can't help but think with everything she's about to do with Rent and whatnot that this is just something she's dialing up for reality television. I mean, I think she's very confident, and I'm not saying she's a prime example of what a human being should be, but I do think she's exaggerating for the camera. She knows what she's playing.
I could see that, but have you noticed she's always like on the same angle too? I've noticed that even in like the Rent Live stuff, she's always on this angle with like one leg beveled over, like, well, it's like reverse, but she's normally like
very Streisand. It's like, only shoot me from this side.
Exactly. She always poses herself in the exact same position. She's like, this is like my brand and I want to do, which is smart, but also it ends up looking artificial after a while. It's like it's so tailored that it's like, I feel like we're not getting a real person. Miss Aaliyah Sky, do you have an opinion on Miss Valentina?
I mean, I'd kind of have to agree with Chris. I'm not like completely annoyed by it yet, but I'm definitely well on my way. Like, I was honestly a little surprised. I was kind of, and this is gonna sound really bad, when they were doing the lip syncs, I secretly really wanted kind of Farrah to win to send Valentina home. So,
well, also it kind of would have been a better story if Farrah came back and eliminated her. It's kind of more dramatic and like a comeuppance and also a redemption in a way for Farrah. I mean, I don't necessarily think Farrah needed to be on All Stars to begin with, but I kind of would have liked that storyline a little bit better. Michael, what did you think of that whole Valentina sitch?
Valentina was beginning to win me over at the beginning of the season because I saw a better performer emerging, and this just killed it. The fact that she's, oh, I'm fabulous, I'm perfect, I was hilarious. Bullshit. She was not hilarious. She was terrible. And if that's her fantasy, fine, let her live it. I'm not going to live it with her.
Yeah. Okay, but speaking of not living it with her, Latrice, she came back and she said, I'm not mad about how I went away, but I am mad, and this is why. Like, I was like, she kept saying no hard feelings, but you did what you did, and stuff like that. No, it's like, you have hard feelings. That's okay. You don't have to, like, sugarcoat it with, like, I don't feel bad about the way I'm going. And also, she said that she doesn't really count All Stars 1 as being her second chance. I'm pretty sure Chad Michaels counts All Stars 1. Russ, what do you think of Latrice kind of coming in with, like, maybe a little chip on her shoulder or just, like, with a new attitude, so to speak?
I mean, it's one thing to say you don't hold a grudge, but yeah, you can not hold a grudge and still move forward and take what's yours. So I think her feelings are justified. No hard feelings, but I'm coming for you is totally fine.
Yeah, I just feel like if there's no hard feelings, then it's like, then you would be a little more chummy. She seemed to have like claws out for everyone in this episode, so it seemed like she was angry.
She's got her second chance. I guess technically it's her third
chance,
but it's not something. But it's one thing to hold the grudge, but she's going to go after whoever she has to win this thing now.
That's true. Still the nature of the competition.
It's still a competition.
Walter, what do you think of Latrice's new attitude?
Well, Fanny was not well for it at all. But the problem that I'm having with Latrice is, in her little confessional thing, she said, how did she phrase it? She said, this crown is mine. And, and all of the queens could say, come back. This is my crown. This is my crown. Latrice means it. She thinks she has earned it. She thinks she is deserving of it. She thinks she's here's the magic word, entitled to it. And she's not. And that's the thing that turns me off. She thinks that this should be a coronation for her. And it's like, no, bitch, you got to work for it just like everybody else. Just like Fanny has to work with it for everything in her life.
You're entitled to what you work hard for, and she kind of proved in 2 challenges that she wasn't working as hard as the rest of the people, and that's why she got eliminated. If she comes back and this lit a fire under her ass, and she like really starts showing us what for, absolutely, then give her the crown. But to go in thinking this is mine, I deserve it just because I'm here. Do you?
And because I'm beloved.
The most beloved.
Well, I think that's an interesting point to raise, because I feel like, we touched on Valentina before. I feel like we saw 2 people come into this competition with like a previous mentality established. So we had Latrice coming into this competition being, I am the beloved Latrice. Valentina came into this competition being like, I'm like the pseudo-villain drama queen. I am Selena.
Also fan favorite.
Right, exactly. And so I think both came in kind of leaning hard into that narrative. And Latrice, I think you're exactly right, Alex. I wasn't seeing her work hard. I was seeing her really rely on that miscongeniality and that she is so beloved. Last night, that was the Latrice I wanted to see, because she was fucking killing that lip sync. When she won, I was like, all right. But before that, I felt like I was seeing a Latrice that was like, well, I'm beloved, so I'm going to do, this crown is mine.
Yeah, that's the thing. She does slay a lip sync, but she doesn't slay a challenge. Like, the challenge was a lip sync this week. And so well, I'm just waiting to see if she ups her game in the actual challenges that come up. That being said, moving on with like Gia coming in and stirring the pot, like I feel like all the girls have her number at this point, especially Trinity, with the way she was kind of firing back at her. And then the way Farrah and Valentina were kind of trying to have a mea culpa moment, but they were still like kind of bitchy at each other. Did we think that it was going to turn out any different way in the lip sync matchups that we got? I kind of predicted that from the beginning, even with Naomi and Gia, even though Gia was going after Trinity. Aaliyah, what did you think? Were there any surprises, or did you have any like beef with any of the rivalries that were going on?
I mean, I was not surprised by the outcome of the episode. I was a little disappointed that there wasn't a bit more of a shakeup, though. Like, I was kind of wanting to see someone go home and have someone brought back. So I'm not really that surprised. I do think all the girls that won their lip syncs, though, were deserving of it. I don't think they gave the lip sync to any one girl just because she was already there. I think the girls that still remain did really good in their lip sync. So
absolutely. Were you surprised at any of the matchups? Did you think it was gonna kind of go any other way?
It seemed kind of suiting, actually. Yeah. Like, of course, your Farrah and Valentina seemed obvious. Your Latrice and Monique seemed obvious. The only one that seemed like it would have been a shakeup would have been Naomi's and Gia's. But once they were kind of paired together, it kind of made sense too, just from like a visual kind of aesthetic kind of standpoint. So not really that surprised.
I honestly think Gia picked Naomi because she thought she was the weak link out of the two remaining. Between Trinity and Naomi, like Trinity's been kind of on the top, Naomi's been safe, and so I think Gia picked Naomi because she's like, well, maybe I could kick this safe bitch off, but I don't know if I can take on Trinity. Michael,
she's never funnier than that Laganja line.
Michael, any surprises in the pairings for you?
Not really. The pair-ups, as you were saying, the pair-ups seemed logical. Mm-hmm. With Farrah and Valentina, again, not crazy about Valentina's attitude, but I just found that Farrah kind of was her own worst enemy in that she kept getting in, like there was so much hair in her face. You couldn't see the lip sync. And she ended up being her own worst enemy in that
totally.
Case.
Well, like I kind of like the way that Trinity was talking to her, kind of like a mama bird thing, being like, like, you're people are ragging on you now, and maybe you aren't the best right now, but this is just the beginning for you, and you already have this huge platform. So
it's a blip.
As long as you keep upping yourself and upping your game, like this is just the beginning. So it's like that's kind of nice that we had that moment, and that's another reason why I kind of wanted Farrah to win, but it didn't happen. So now we're getting to the lip syncs. Let's do our like top performance and bottom performance. To me, I was very surprised with Naomi. Like when she brought all that shit out, I was like, look at this bitch work it. And Gia was doing okay. Like I was not surprised about her reveal because she kind of half revealed it on the runway.
Yeah.
What was that opening look too? I was like, it should have been a pencil skirt. What was it? Anyway. But yeah, I really liked Naomi's like, just doing some Lester Horton moves, like hinging down to the ground. I was like, oh, bringing it out, bringing some modern dance to the world of drag.
That Matrix backbend.
Yeah, and that was amazing. And also probably my least favorite was Jasmine, because number one, every time they went into a close-up, she didn't know the words. And she wasn't really like doing anything. So I was like,
also, Jasmine was playing catch-up in that Trinity would do something, and then somehow it would register with Jasmine, and then she would try to copy it.
Yeah.
They?
As much as she was talking about how fierce a lip syncer she is, I was like, I didn't necessarily see it last night. Chris, tops and bottoms of the lip syncs?
Gosh. So that matchup between Monique and Latrice was pretty epic. So that had me like on the edge of my seat, wondering what was going to happen. The rest were very clearly telegraphed. There was very clearly, like Farrah was like she did what, like I think like Trinity or somebody said Gia, she was giving pop star realness. She was doing a lot of like Britney, but I think that was a lot of a cheat because she just didn't really learn the words. And so I would have to say Farrah's my least. I feel bad because she seems like a nice girl and she's very pretty, but she's not quite there. She has nothing to show except the fact that she's extremely beautiful and very affable. So
I feel
that
like
would
she
be
needs
my
a
bot.
mentor. Like she needs a Trinity to be full-time with her in Las Vegas, being like, no, girl, go rehearse this.
She needs to fail a bit more too. Like I think Michael said in a previous episode, she also needs to kind of, I feel like she hasn't failed enough because all of this, her heart is constantly broken, by the way. Every episode, Farrah's heart is broken.
She
And
cried
she's
again
always
this episode, right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like, girl, like you can't be devastated at everything. I mean, you gotta toughen up.
We
God
need a
love you.
thicker skin there. Walter, yes.
Well, not to dump on Farrah, but the problem with Farrah is, yes, she's very sweet. From all accounts, she's an absolutely lovely person.
Yeah.
She's quite beautiful, but that isn't a talent. She can't dance to save her life. She has no rhythm. So she's not a dancing queen.
She's not a comedy queen.
And she's not a comedy queen.
And she doesn't do very well with lip sync.
Yeah, but even if she could lip sync, her idea of performing is to get on her knees and swing her hair in the air. And that's fine for about 5 seconds, but what else you got? Yeah. So she hasn't figured out who she is other than beautiful.
Yeah. And that's kind of like we've talked about this before with like new drag queens in the game, like younger queens in the game who can put on makeup and put a filter on their face and post a gorgeous picture and get 5,000 likes, but when it comes to performing, what else you got? And sometimes they prove that they don't have anything else. Russ, did you have a top and bottom of the lip syncs this week?
I think Valentina just did a fantastic performance. It was one of her best performances ever. She knew all the words. She was dancing her fat ass off, and
she was acting it.
And she was acting. She owned her performance, and it's one of the few times I've seen her do that. I was a little nervous between Latrice and Monique. But I don't have a horse in that game, so either one I would have been happy with. Farrah just didn't do it. Jasmine, I don't know why she's on All Stars.
Gia
crazy.
But Jasmine just doesn't care.
She's
and it comes through.
That whole episode, she got very little screen time, and I think she just she's not. It feels like she's not trying. Like at this point, I think you're right, Walter. She is like if
doesn't care.
It's like
she just wants to go off and get stoned. That's all she wants.
You seen her videos? She cray.
Well, here's one thing I don't understand though, is I thought they said that you were going to be able to pick your competitor by the order of elimination.
They did, but they started with the most recent one.
The most recent backwards, okay. Because I was like...
Yeah, because they wanted to end with Latrice. Yeah.
Drag queen math.
Drag queen math.
Because I couldn't figure out why Jasmine would pick Trinity.
Like, can we all just take a moment to, say thank you to the pit crew? Those were some gorgeous boys on that stage. Bruno and Bryce, and the other one, was it Wilson or something?
Wilson.
Oh,
wow.
They were just gorgeous.
You've evolved, Alex. You're now getting names.
I know.
Y'all can't remember some of the queens' names, but you watched one episode where they say the pit crew's name and nailed it.
Exactly.
Leave me, Sean.
You can tell where my mind is, clearly.
Wilson was like an Asian Billy doll.
He was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in my older age, I am 26 now. I'm learning to remember people's names. Michael, did you have a top and bottom of the lip syncs?
I in terms of bottoms of the lip syncs, I really
tops or bottoms. Did you have one you really liked or one you really hated, or both?
I liked Latrice a lot. I thought that if it had not been a double elimination, a double save, I think Latrice would have won.
It was very even for me, but yeah.
In terms of bottoms, I really thought Gia was really forgettable. I mean, all she seems to have is whipping her hair around and
a little voguing. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was even with the reveal, I was like, she did it right after the first verse, and then nothing. And what I did like about
Valentina was brilliant.
Yeah, And she looked great too. And what I liked about Monique's reveal is like it kept happening, and she started with a gorgeous outfit and she ended with a gorgeous outfit. And so
I didn't see the moment she whipped off the first wig for the orange wig. I didn't originally see that. All I saw was
she was head rolling
her hair around, and then all of a sudden it was red, and I thought it was some sort of special effect.
I saw something fly off the stage before I saw the orange hair.
We had to run it back because it was like, oh my god, that was brilliant.
Yeah, it was good. Aaliyah, did you have a top and a bottom?
I mean, I thought they were all pretty good. There's none of them that really, I mean, yes, Valentina I thought did good, like, you know, good for her. I think I was secretly voting for, like, hoping Latrice would do really good. I thought she turned it out. I've never seen her, like, really, you know, buck and pour like she did. I didn't really have any bottoms. I mean, I really did think everyone did really good. So
I think everyone did better than they normally do, except maybe Jasmine for me, but
yeah.
I found
she tried.
I loved that the entire episode was built around this because we actually got to see them do what they do, one right after the other. Because sometimes you get to the end of the season and one queen hasn't even ever lip synced for their life. You don't know what they do.
True.
So it was great to see that, but it was also absolutely emotionally exhausting by the end of that show.
Completely. And if it was that for us,
just wiped me out because you're like tense the whole time for 45 minutes.
I know, yeah.
And it was catch how Rue and Michelle seemed like they probably like puffed a few before the start of this episode. Did anybody catch that? Because they were like eating it up the whole time. I don't know if it's just because they were doing it to her songs or if they like really did like have a few drinks before the filming started. But I've never seen her that vocal during a lip sync.
I would say maybe they did, but I'm pretty sure they're both sober, so I don't think they did that. But
they are.
I think they just wanted.
Oh, but let's start the rumor. Let's start the rumor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and so now we have an extra queen at this point. Like no one was eliminated last week, and we kind of brought another one back. Do we think this is going to affect the rest of? Well, it's going to have to because they only have a certain amount of weeks. Are we looking at a double elimination coming up? Are we looking at a team event where two people get eliminated because they were on a team? What do we think is going to happen? Aaliyah, you had some theories about this week that proved to be true, so I'm going to start with you. Where do you think
I was spot on this week. I was like...
You were spot on this week.
I think they'll do another double elimination. This season so far has seemed to be nothing but like twists and turns and gags and whatnot. So I do think there will be a double elimination. I think
it looks like they're working in teams next week or pairs next week. So it could be next week that the bottom team gets eliminated altogether. So.
It could be. I think they will do a double elim though.
I think so. Walter, you're good with conspiracy theories. What do you think is gonna happen?
I think it's going to be a double elimination. I think Latrice is going to go home.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, they were kind of hinting at Manila this week in the teaser, but, they usually do that just to get you to suspect a little
Manila's, no, we'll get to that in a moment. No, it's okay. Latrice is going home next week.
All right, we could have a double. We could even have a triple at this point because, like, we were supposed to eliminate two, I think, if we're talking, like, week to week.
But do we know how many more weeks there are?
One's been eliminated this week.
I think the 22nd of February is the last, or that's
the last one?
Yeah, I think season 12 starts, or season 11 starts the 22nd of February. It starts the week after All Stars ends.
So that's what? Hard. 3-4 weeks of shows.
That's why I think there'll be a double elimination.
Okay. There has to be. Mathematically, with drag math, that's how it works out. Like
math is hard.
Math is hard, especially for me and drag. So with Latrice back and possible double elimination, who do we think is going to be top 4? Let's start with. I'll go backwards to the top. Let's start with Michael.
Let's see. Top 4. I'd love to see Manila, Monet, Trinity, and Valentina.
Okay. All right, Aaliyah, who are you thinking?
I'm gonna say Trinity, Manila. I'm gonna say Naomi. She's Silent Assassin. I think she'll sneak in there like she did on her season. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who the 4th one would be. I don't think it'll be Valentina.
Okay. Maybe a Monique Hart as a dark horse?
Maybe. Probably. That would actually make more sense.
She's been doing pretty well for herself. Yeah. Walter, who are you thinking for top 4?
Well, Fanny and I have discussed this at great length, and we believe that it will. What? Yes, we believe that it will be Trinity, Manila, Naomi, and Monet, with Manila winning the whole thing.
Okay,
Isn't that right?
It's starting to seem like Manila's year. Yeah. Good job, Fanny. Good picks, Fanny. I appreciate you and your snuff. Christopher, Henry.
So I think we're gearing up for Trinity. I think we're gearing up for Valentina, Manila, and then the fourth one for me, it could go to either Monique or Monet, because they're kind of like, they're tied with me for camera time. The other 3 are just way too much of a fixture of the show at this point. I mean, the show has done a really good job at trimming off the obvious fat, the people who piss us off and the people who just aren't as good. And
people who are fat.
Yeah. What?
And the people who are fat.
And I think that
I resemble that remark.
And then so that's what I think. 'Cause I mean, Monique and Monet are pretty good television too, but I mean, I don't think they're going to get rid of Valentina unless she really does something to piss off the audience, because she's too interesting to watch.
You're not already halfway there with her yet, like the rest of us?
But she makes for very good television. What I could see them doing with Valentina is like getting eliminated right before the top 4. And,
maybe.
Like, as
another gag.
Russ.
Oh, yeah, but the people already think, but the contestants already have put down the marker that they're willing to get rid of her. So she ends up in the bottom again. She could be going hasta la vista.
And Russ, do you have a top 4?
My top 4: Trinity, Valentina, Latrice, and Monique.
Monique, all right. So we're kind of split across the board, but everyone's kind of saying Trinity, Manila-ish. So that's kind of nice. Well, it's anybody's game, and who the fuck knows because of all these shenanigans that keep happening. And I said fucking
Fanny knows.
Henry for making it okay. Well, oh, hi, Fanny. Well, like Fanny is waving goodbye. Let's all say goodbye right now. Thank you for watching The Morning After. Thank you for watching RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. We will see you next week, Kiddlywinks, and bye.
Bye.